Hello friends, Big Mike with Big Mike's Jigs and Flies here. I'm back at the tying bench. I've got an order of crappie jigs for Mr. Bobby Smith of Fort Worth, Texas. Of course, down here we call them Sockeye jigs, but nonetheless, we'll get these tied up and sent on their way. So we're going to start off with a black and chartreuse Crazy Legs, one of my favorite jigs. And these are going to be in 1/16 ounce jig heads on a number 2 circle hook. So come along, I'll show you how I tie it. So we're going to start out with our jig that I've already painted the head black, as you can see. We're going to secure that in our vise. Very tightly. Then we're going to get our thread, and I like to use a thread that's the same color as the tail. And we're going to lay down a nice thread base starting right behind the lead head. And working our way back almost to the point of the hook. And we're going to snip off the excess. Now the tail material on this jig is going to consist of these silicone legs or strands. Same material that they make spinnerbait skirts out of. So I'm going to pop off 4 of them. And we're going to run that thread back up right behind the head of the jig. Lay that material across the hook shank and give it 2 wraps. And we wrapped it about in the middle. Now we're going to add some flash. For this, I use a material called Crystal Flash, which comes in a long strand that I'm going to fold in half and cut in half. And we're going to lay that just like we did the silicone material, 2 wraps. Then we're going to take everything and we're going to fold it to the rear. And we're going to tie that down. You don't have to tie it real tight. Again, bringing the thread almost back to the hook point. Now for the body, I like to use a medium-size tri-lobal Antron chenille. It's made by Hairline Dubbing. You can get it online. Many fly shops have it. You can find it on eBay. You can find it on Amazon. It's not hard to find. And we're going to lay that on the top of the hook shank, going all the way back up to the top of the lead head. Now, because I want this jig to be durable and not come untied, we're going to put some super glue. We're going to put some super glue on that chenille. Like so. And we're going to start wrapping the chenille around the hook shank in the opposite direction that we wrapped our thread. All the way back up to the lead head. And you notice since we wrapped it in the opposite direction, when we tie it down with our thread, it crosses over the chenille. Go ahead and snip that off. And the reason I use a thread color the same color as the tail is that I build up a little collar right there, which has a contrasting color. Now we're going to get our whip finishing tool. And we're going to whip finish it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. I like 7. 7 is a mystical number. What a whip finish does is it wraps the thread over itself. And we'll go ahead and snip that off. At this point, while we have our scissors in our hand, we'll trim the tail to our desired length. I like my tail about the same length as the head and the body. To finish this off, add to the durability, make sure it never comes untied. We'll take a product called Bone Dry, made by Solarez, and we'll paint that thread. What this is a very thin ultraviolet epoxy. And you cure it by hitting it with an ultraviolet light. Only takes about 10 seconds. It cures hard as a rock, and that thread will never come untied. So there you have it, friends. The Black & Chartreuse Crazy Legs. One of the many jigs you'll find available at Big Mike's Jigs and Flies. Comes in a number of different color combinations and a number of different tail materials. This is the Crazy Legs. You can get it in with bucktail, marabou, or different synthetic materials that I use. Anyway, www.bmjigs.com. Check it out. You might see something you like. If you do, please order. If you don't, just enjoy your visit. Drop me a line, a message if you don't see anything that you're looking for. I can custom make just about any jig or fly. Last year I made some huge jigs that there were 4-ounce jigs that somebody was going to use for snapper fishing offshore, and he said he did really well with them. Anyway, till next time, get out there on the water, catch some fish, be safe, and tight lines, everybody.